Hey everyone. Yes, I know I'm late, but we finally did it. We've been living in Norway for 1 year and a half, and finally we decided to have our first vacations. Last year we were moving from one house to another, and we were having some, let's call it, minor work problems, but more on that later. And we didn't have time to have vacations or to properly explore Norway. But this year we finally did it. And let me tell you, Norway is just beautiful. Norway has a way to make you feel small. Whether you're in the middle of a fjord or trying to climb to the top of a mountain, this country has a way to show us all how small we really are. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's the future. Technically it's the present. You get what I mean. Let's go back to our timeline, and I promise you all that I will show you all of our beautiful trips through Norway later on. So let's get back to packing. Better.
It's still a shirt.
And I'm still on vacations. When you're moving to Norway and you decide to measure your car trunk, to tape the exact measurements on your living room floor to make sure everything fits, you might be overthinking it. Or you might just be us. This is how we spent our last week in Portugal, losing our mind one vacuum bag at a time. Last time I showed you our 6 months of preparations. Today, I'm going to show you our last 7 days in Portugal and how preparation met reality. And reality kicked us right in our nuts. This is the story about vacuum bags, car suspension, and how my wife's mother ended up helping us in our departure day because we hadn't figured it out already. Remember all that research about winter clothes? This is what we ended up buying versus what we thought we needed. What we bought: thermal underwear, and let me tell you, seeing my wife in full thermal suit is not as romantic as I thought. Ski pants, because apparently regular pants are not enough if you want to get adventurous and explore the wilds. 3 or 4 jackets for my wife, because apparently layering is a science.
It was only 4 jackets, and you said that I was being dramatic.
I said 4 jackets seems a lot for one person, and I was wrong about that too. I got anoraks, which sounds fancy but are really expensive hoodies that can survive Arctic conditions. We each got 1 pair of gloves and 2 pairs of snow boots, and we prayed that our Portuguese clothes would be enough for Norway's winter. Spoiler alert, they weren't. The jackets that got me through Portuguese winter were basically decorative layer in here. And Mike got his fair share too. Waterproof boots, waterproof jacket, thick warm jacket, and even the safety cage for the trip, because we are responsible pet parents. Sometimes. Now this is when my overthinking brain took over. I measured the Passat trunk height, length, width, and recreated it exactly with tape on our living room floor. My wife thought I lost my mind, but I was determined to know if everything fit before we started the Tetris game. The theory was sound. If it would fit on the tape, it would fit on the car trunk. The reality was more complicated because cars have curves and wheel wells and, physics. Here's what actually made it into the car. Clothes, obviously, but all vacuum packed because winter clothes are basically portable sleeping bags. Essential household stuff like cutlery, plates, bed sheets, blankets, shampoo, basic stuff to start all over. Food went into the spare tire space because we don't know what type of food we're going to find in Norwegian grocery stores. Our laptops and our external hard drives with all our digital life on them, and our espresso coffee machine. Non-negotiable. I'm Portuguese. I'm already moving to a country where supposedly is darkness half the year. I'm not going to give up on good coffee too.
Tell them what you said when I suggested leaving it.
I said we would find room for it, even if my cat rolled it on his lap for 3,000 kilometers. But for everything that made it, something else needed to stay. And this is what didn't make the cut. My 3D printer that I always wanted, and I only used it for like 6 months. Our soundbar that I loved for our movie nights and for gaming. My Naruto book collection, my nerd collectibles like my Black Panther helmet, our Funko Pops, the rag doll that she made me of Deadpool. Every item felt like we were leaving a piece of our life behind. But we kept telling to ourselves that we're not moving stuff, we're starting a new life. While dealing with all this packing chaos, we need to say our goodbyes. For me, that meant my older brother, my younger brother, and my younger sister. Not easy, but straightforward. For my wife, it was a little bit more complicated. Mother, father, brother, cousin, uncles, basically half of Portugal. And of course, everyone had their own opinion about our decision. The hardest part was not being able to tell when we'd be back. Like telling someone we'll come by or we'll visit, it's a little bit different when you're 3,000 kilometers away. 2 days before departure, we start the real packing. Everything went into vacuum bags, and I mean everything. Winter clothes, normal clothes, even blankets. But here's something no one tells you about vacuum bags and thick winter clothes. Even compressed, that stuff is bulky as hell. We vacuum packed everything we could, and then the Tetris game started. Layer 1, heavy stuff. Layer 2, vacuum bags. Layer 3, realizing that we still have a lot of stuff to fit in. The car suspension was so low that the wheel was basically scraping. We had to delay departure day for 1 day just to take everything out and figure out what more could we leave behind. Departure day, take 2. We're supposed to leave early to have a good start on the drive. Instead, we're still in the garage rearranging the boxes when my wife's mother arrives to collect the rest of the stuff that we left in our apartment.
And she wasn't supposed to come until after we left.
She walked in on us having a complete mental meltdown, trying to figure out where we could put some pots and some pans inside an already stuffed van. Maybe if we move those vacuum bags from there over here. But she jumped right in and helped us reorganize everything and made some executive decisions about what was really essential. Sometimes you need a parent to tell you that yes, you can survive without those collectibles. When it was time to say goodbye, we made it quick. Not because we didn't care, but we had been building for this moment for so long that if we stopped for a second to think, we were afraid we might regret it. Mike had no idea what was happening, but he was clearly excited. New car, new smells, new cage. He was happy. We'd give him relaxation medication as recommended by the vet. It was supposed to keep him calm and relaxed for the whole trip. Instead, Mike spent the first hour of our 3,000 kilometers journey humping his pillow inside his cage and making some excited noises. He was very happy, inappropriately happy. Here we are, driving through Portugal, listening to Mike having the time of his life in the backseat, while we are here having anxiety attacks and thinking if we had made a terrible mistake. So that's how you pack your entire life into a Passat van. Measure everything twice, vacuum pack everything once, and just accept that your mother-in-law will come to rescue in your departure day. Next time, the 3,000 kilometers road trip to Norway starts, including the Spanish gas station, where we found out why we didn't have GPS signal or internet on our cell phones, why Paris is not that romantic, why driving in the German Autobahn is so amazing, and why the hell the first time we drive in snow needs to be in the biggest snowstorm since 1918. If you ever tried to fit your entire life into a vehicle, or if you're just curious to see how this road trip disaster unfolds, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And tell me in the comments, what's the craziest thing you've done to make something fit into your car? Did you ever measure the trunk of your car and taped it in your floor? Or am I the only one that desperate? Thank you all for following along with our Norwegian adventure, and see you next time when we finally arrive to our destination.
E vamos nós para o nosso segundo dia. Hoje o condutor é outro. Vamos em direção aonde, senhora?
Vamos tentar chegar a Bordeaux no mínimo dos mínimos, foda-se.
Vamos lá, Mike. Mike, o que é que tu achas, Mike? Não? Mike, não. Acho que não.